What's going on, Leo? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a phenomenal week so far. So much your birthday season. Are you excited? Get pumped. Well, don't get pumped yet. We're still in Cancer season, so give us our time, Leo. I'm just kidding. But for those of you who are returning, I'm not kind of kidding. Welcome back, Soul Draft. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just amazing, Leo. And it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy how yourself has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. Cause it's General Energy Weekly Spread. I like that. That was kind of cool. I'm just kind of going with it now, Leo. But with this weekly spread, whenever you happen to come across this video, there may be some messages in here for you. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Crystals, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Leo. So, Leo, I'm going to pull a few oracle cards from this deck here, and then I'll get some details with the tarot. But before we jump into this thing, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? Thank you. And in case if y'all were curious, the decks that I'm working with, I've included links for I gotta include that other one. I've included like 99% of them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. But also down in the description box are links for some other readers that I like watching as well, Leo. Very great bunch there, so I hope hopefully you'll like them to kind of get a different feel for all the energies here. But let's get into your first card. Oh, look at you, Leo, going for a I was gonna say for a row, what do they do? Yeah, I guess for a row, whatever. You got the third card, Sagittarius here. Quick and distracted, Leo. Which is the crew card. With this card, this is a card of in sync, esprit de corps, working together as a unit, team, leadership, co-create, pooling assets, camaraderie, gung-ho, forming alliances, partnership, and team effort. So the big energy that's coming through here is the leadership, Leo. And this could be for some, maybe if we're in the state of, maybe we're thinking about going for that promotion, or maybe we're even thinking about, maybe you're part of a sports team, and maybe you're thinking about, or maybe you want to start up your own little team there, Leo, maybe create some sort of like, that'd be cool, some kind of recreational kind of crew team. If you live by a river, maybe you can all pool your assets, go together on a boat here, but that's really cool, Leo. This is... One thing with your energy, Leo, is that you are inspirational. When you are, because you are a very passionate sign, and I feel like when something really lights you up and really gets you excited, that you can get others to want to contribute to that, Leo. That's really that charismatic energy that you have. It really is a beautiful placement to have the sun. You know, that's such an important luminary in our charts to be at home with your sign. So that's, really think about, because yours is can be a sign of leadership. So and this doesn't necessarily have to be something maybe where we're necessarily like, you may not want to be front man here, but maybe, or front woman, but you want to be in this place of just at least starting up something. You can lead from different areas, Leo. You can even do some stuff behind the scene, maybe even like just like starting up the initiative. I feel like just getting others, you can even be inspiring other leaders, Leo, because how sick would that be? I think that's a really cool energy that is coming through there, and I feel like that is something that will too help you form, and not that you don't already have friends, Leo, but even form some more alliances with the people who share like similar interests. Maybe even bring together some people who thought that they would never that would never mingle otherwise. But then you're bridging gaps over here, Leo. Look at you. I'm with it. I'm so with it. Let's get into some tarot here. And I feel like what a great way to work with your birthday season coming up. Oh, absolutely, to take charge, Leo. Bring change. I'm with it. You got the tower in reverse here, and I like that. Okay, that's too many. Hold on a second. keeping those? Okay, dope. Let's see what's going down here because I like the way you take charge, Leo. Because you got the Tower in reverse. Okay, we're thinking about it. Okay, let's see. Oh, we got a stack here, Leo, and a lot of eights. All the eights, three of the eights. Okay, Leo, I like this. So you have the Tower in reverse, the King of Wands, the Eight of Cups, and the Eight of Wands in reverse here, and then you have the Eight of Pentacles, and then the Three of Pentacles upright. And so, Leo, look at you. I do feel like that this energy is saying, when the Tower comes through, Mars is bringing change. Maybe for some, I feel like for some, maybe it's either feels like that the energy, if you've been feeling like maybe things have been slowing down or that there hasn't been anything exciting going on, or maybe there's even been like just an energy here of maybe just noticing that either yourself or maybe even like the people around you just tend to be almost in like this kind of stuck energy, or just like there's not any sort of, it's just sort of like the same kind of monotonous stuff every day. It's almost getting like a Groundhog's Day type of vibe, where you just kind of got this, where everything's predictable. You see Bob at the mailbox every day. You get to work, have the same conversations. How's the weather? How's sports? How's this? And it feels like that things don't have to necessarily just be in this. I almost feel with this King of Wands energy, it's almost like it's like going against the normal kind of plan here. Normally the King of Wands for me is like a card of, getting a game plan together, figuring out where we want to grow and expand. And I feel that, but almost just like not in like a traditional type of sense here. It's like going against the grain, getting the energies, kind of doing what the sun does, invigorating and rejuvenating others. And I really feel that because Mars is in Virgo right now, and then that's a very, very efficient, very detail-oriented type of energy, that if you want to get any sort of thing started up, or maybe even just, maybe if you don't want to start, again, we can inspire leaders, maybe just put the idea out there, maybe for someone else, just be like, hey, what do you think about this idea? I think you would be great at leading something like this, and I'd actually be interested in joining your thing as well. It's just, like, and maybe even getting some things kick-started up like that. But this Tower in reverse here, I love when the Tower pops up in reverse, because that does give me an energy of like you bringing this change here, you becoming like a catalyst here, Leo. That's dope. That's how the sun does it. That's what I'm talking about. All right, let's get another Oracle card in the mix here. Let's see what else we got here. Nice. All right, so you got the first card of Taurus here, which is the Emerald card. With this card, this is a card of healing, fertility, eternity, reflection, humility. Excuse me, Leo. Sexuality, rare, peace, soul restoration, growth, strong relationship, balance, free-flowing love, mature love, and heart chakra. So the energies that are kind of coming through, the stronger ones are going to be the heart chakra and the peace here, but really the heart chakra here, Leo. And I almost feel like that for some of you, that there's, Leo, you rule the heart, being and I feel that almost maybe for some of you, with the King of Wands being in reverse here, that maybe some of us haven't been, it's not that we've been following our heart, it's just that maybe we've either kind of put it on the side, maybe we've been more so kind of been focusing on work, and and it's not to say that we're quitting work, that's never when I'm bringing that type of stuff up, but it's more so just like, how can we pursue like all avenues that we love here, Leo? For example, like, I'm working on this channel right now. I do it because I love it. It's really fascinating, and I got some ideas like maybe that I'm thinking about doing a little bit more here. But in the meantime, it's like I have something. I got a little side gig, because this is the dream here. But it's just like I got a little side gig that's kind of helping, kind of keeping the finances, getting the bills paid, keeping all the obligations and stuff. But it's and it's been a different type of routine for sure, but the energies are flowing a lot differently because there's that little bit of extra. There's this balance that I feel that's going, or that I feel that maybe for some of us, we're trying to achieve here, and that maybe if you've been kind of been in this like toiling energy for a while, one way to kind of maybe again break up the monotony and because I almost, it's like I feel like it's pursuing. Let me stay on one thought at a time, because I feel like it is pursuing, just like, if you have just like, maybe you want to do some crew, maybe in the morning, maybe you find some people, maybe find a group and they get up, because I think that's something you do like really early. So maybe you get, do something really early, maybe on some certain days when you gotta. I don't know, Leo, but I almost feel like with this Eight of Cups, it feels like maybe for some that we've even been walking away from things that maybe once provided us this passion, this pleasure, something along those lines. And but I feel like that the energies are saying to, because this is an interesting energy for the Eight of Cups to come through like this, but it feels like that it almost feels like that we've walked away from like our dreams, or like our just like little things that you may like doing on the side. Maybe like you wanted to make more time for reading, but there's never enough time in the day, that old famous quote. But I feel like this Leo is trying to figure out how to make more time for those type of things, to do more type of just to find that work smart, kind of play smart balance, and just make sure that you're just filling up all your cups, Leo. Because there's, life is more than just like just working and just doing like stuff every now and again. It's like finding all the ways that you maybe want to travel, a lot more, maybe whatever that's looking like. But let's get some tarot on this and get some details. Look at that, a little recreation. Maybe some of us need to make more time from just wanting to nap. Let's see what else we got here. Thank you. Alright, Leo. Oh, okay, look at that. Some little surprise death card there. This is fine. Because you got a lot of major arcana through here. So you have the Fool and the King of Cups in reverse here. And then we have the Death card, the Four of Swords, and then the Justice card upright. And I feel like with this energy, Leo, that for some, it's like maybe we're it feels like for some we're like resisting a change in a sense, just thinking with this heart chakra. And I feel like that if we were to almost pay attention to how we feel when we're not doing that thing that we love doing, because it's like, or let's say for example that we love running, but we can't, we haven't made enough time for it or something along those lines. It's just like, but we know how great this energy feels, and I'm not sure, it's like not quite sure. It's like almost like a, maybe even like a guilt thing, because it's like, oh well, in this running I could have maybe get caught up on bills, or I could have been doing X, or I could have been doing Y. And it's just like, with the Justice card, I feel like there's a balance here that needs to happen, or that I feel like is not even needs to, because I mean you have control over what you want to do, Leo, at the end of the day, always. But I feel like there's a change that's almost like wanting to happen, considering too, just even think about that. You got the with the Tower, that's one of Scorpio's ruler here, is the Death card. And it feels like that this does, it's like a wanting to change, maybe to, I feel like it would bring a lot more, considering that we were talking about that peace kind of coming through here, and kind of got the Four of Swords here, Lee. I do feel like that would bring, a lot more peace to our journey if we were to just kind of explore this, just these, I don't want to say urges, but like just like these maybe kind of like interests or seeing things along those lines. That's kind of what this energy is feeling like. Really kind of following your heart and tuning into you and very interesting. More. All right, Leo. All right, let's get your last oracle card here. right, Leo, last little bit here. You got the seventh card of Pisces, which is the baggage card. And with this card, this is a card of excess, unresolved issues, held together, preparedness, pack rat, fearing separation, heavy burdens, responsibility, necessities, prepared to go, next phase, and long journey. And the energy that's coming through here, Leo, is the heavy burdens. And that's interesting. I feel that maybe for some, just because I'm thinking about it feels like that maybe for some, something's been kind of weighing down on our hearts. Like this is the heart chakra is really kind of popping through there with this heavy burdens. And maybe this is for some, maybe that's what this change is. Maybe we're wanting to change, but there may be a troubles getting this thing started, or maybe keeping the effects, keeping those in like a routine. Maybe this is resistance. It's like it's like, for example, let's say that we love spicy foods, but every time it gives you indigestion, and it's just like, over time it's just like, it's like, how long do we want to stay in that, being sleeping, because that's the worst. It's, being with that uncomfortable energy all the time. And it almost feels like that too. It's like really really tuning into, and this is not health advice, Leo, but tuning into your body, and just like tuning into that, just like all the being really present with yourself, seeing how your energies are feeling, and not even just like the physical, how you're mentally feeling, how you're feeling connected as far as like to your intuition and things along those lines, spirituality. But if there is something here that has been kind of weighing on you, because that definitely gives me kind of like Ten of Wands vibes, is that like this thing that, because Ten of Wands is not not a bad card in the sense of like, sure, it can be a card of burdens, but I feel like it's only when it's something that we keep putting energy to that we know drains us really fast, or something along those lines, Leo. But yeah, just pay attention. And I feel like the working together as a unit in that crew card here, really you and higher self kind of being there in balance, and just like paying attention to those signs, like, oh, higher self. Because I feel like, with the tower being reversed too, one thing I like talking about that is that higher self, I feel, really likes to keep the tower moments kind of more in-house, for us to really initiate change. But every now and again, there are those things that we feel that are a little more insurmountable, or feel like that they're bigger than us, that where we fear that it may overcome us in the future. Because the Fool is Uranus energy. That's Aquarius, your opposite sign. But I do feel that even when those situations happen, like if we can't make the decision, sometimes, the what happens with the tower is that that with the tower energies, that higher self will kind of make more external situations happen, and it's not to keep us down, while beat us up or beat us down, or beat us up while we're down, but it's more so to remind you that, like, hey, come on, let's get up. You can do this. You've done this before. It's the energies look different now, just because we're in a different state here, Leo. But let's get some tarot on this. Well, your first card starting up here, Leo, is you got the Two of Swords in reverse. And I feel really with the Two of Swords, it's like for some, it's like almost like we're avoiding a choice, or like, again, it's like we know. And listen, Leo, okay, yeah, okay. So, I used to smoke, and it was a thing that I picked up, being a bartender and whatnot, working in the food industry. It was at that time is one of the ways that you can get your breaks, Leo. And it was one of those things that down the line, and listen, again, judgment-free zone. It was one of those things that down the line where I had moved to the deciding factor that of me stopping was I had because I smoked for a while, but I moved to Colorado for a little bit, and there is no air up there, and that was miserable when I was up there doing that, and it was just like at some point it's just like what are we doing? Like I'm not. There's like it was one thing that it was like sort of like relieving the stress, but it's just like at the at where I was at my journey. It's just like what we're good. Like it had become more of a heavy burden than than it was for me at the time already. So that's kind of what this Two of Swords energy in reverse is feeling like, and it's like with the Seven of Swords here being in reverse, this feels to me it's like there's this energy of needing to and honesty here that's needing to happen. That if something is depriving you or is getting you to this state of or where it's even like affecting your because this five of pentacles for me is even getting like it's giving me like a beat down type of energy or something along those lines like that. It's let me get a little bit more on that, Leo. But there's with the two. Let me get a little bit more on that, Leo. Before on this Five of Pentacles, before we go on to that. Let's see what we got here, Leo. Interesting. So the Five of Pentacles is clarified by the Five of Swords and then the Ace of Cups here, Leo. Let's switch back over. Because I feel like that it's one of those things that maybe for some, and I'm not really getting, for some, this burden can be, the best example I'm thinking about is, like, let's say for since we were talking about smoking, it's like we may think that like well it doesn't affect others like that bad, so it's like if they can handle it, I mean I can have it, because I mean you've heard those stories of like people who've been smoking from their pretty much out the womb until they live till like they're 90, and so it's like well if they can do it I can do it. But the thing is stuff like that, and depending, whatever this, it doesn't necessarily have to be a vice. This could even be where, let's say if we put off a dream, since we were talking about that, where it's like, where, oh, well, like, let's say like we saw like a parent or like an authority figure or something that's like well they put their dreams aside to achieve this, get this money, fame, things and that and whatnots, but it's just like well were they happy towards the end? Were they have all their feel like all their cups were filled outside of the material things? It's just like what may be good for others, Leo, it may not be good for you. It may not. That's the kind of energy that's coming through here, and it's I do feel like it's paying attention to how these things affect how you work in this realm. How you're manifesting, how you're creating, how your energies are working. Are you feeling more drained? Are you feeling less inspired? Just like not random, but just like paying attention to things like that, and really, and you know what, and maybe that's what we might be chalking it up to, just being just randomness, and these feelings and things are just like oh that's just a coincidence. It's just like just pay attention to those signals, Leo. I feel like there is the Ace of Cups for me too can be like a card of again, there's these 5 streams that are pouring out of this cup, and I think we might have mentioned about that being present, but there's these 5 maybe, but there's 5 streams poured out that represent the 5 senses, and this dove here is like your higher self reaching that 6th sense. And I feel like if we can find out if there are any sort of streams that aren't flowing smooth or something along that aren't flowing period, how can we get those energies moving again, Leo? So interesting energy. I think I'm gonna leave that there. So hopefully that made sense. But if something resonated with you, give it a thumbs up and share this, Leo. If you know someone who's maybe wanting to feel feeling inspired, or you know what, Leo, for some too, like, and this might be something to tell your friend if that maybe there's some resonated with them, but maybe even for some we're thinking about the heavy burden of leadership. That's even something too, and what that means to even be a leader, and like in what capacity that looks like. And I feel like those are some you got it in you, Leo. I mean, you were born with it. So, I mean, it's really one of those things that it's just like, how do you want to? That's a big question that no one can answer. I feel like if that's something we're maybe looking for with the Five of Swords, then other than you, that's really something that's deep and personal. People can tell you what you're good at, and maybe pay attention to that type of stuff. Take what resonates with you, but that's an even interesting energy that's coming through here. So hopefully you stay through that. I didn't think of that sooner, but that's another thing, Leo. But then if you haven't already, subscribe, hit that bell button. You get notified when I release videos each week. And then I'm on this meditation app, Insight Timer, and I started a group on there called Zodiacs Raising the Vibration. And it's just a group that posts like positive affirmations, encouraging messages, things along those lines. And as the group grows, I'm going to start doing different guided affirmations, meditation things by neural beats, ambient music, just all kinds of nice stuff there. Maybe change 101 with the death card, or taking action with the tower, something cool like that. And finding balance, or finding, I gotta find out that, because I think Sagittarius has finding balance, temperance. But check that out, Leo. And then lastly, I don't think you got any Cancer cards here, and that's fine. You don't need them. If you got any Cancer in your placement there, Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, I'm on over to my other channel, The Chariot and Friends. I do videos Monday through Friday there. We discuss lunar shenanigans. It's a good old time. And all the housekeeping down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here, so I can get you out of here. And really thinking, Leo, because you got the Hanged Man here. And with the Hanged Man, I'm getting your oracle card. The Hanged Man. I feel that this is for some. There's this energy of kind of seeing things from a different perspective. I feel that if we were to acknowledge this, maybe for some, this burden. Because, Neptune can deal with sort of those things that are hidden from us. She lives in the 12th house with Pisces. And 12th house stuff is tricky. I got a couple things in the 12th house. And when you get into that hidden realm and the way that things can burden you, the ways that we can even like disillusion ourselves, or in things along those lines, Leo, it's... I do feel it's, and especially with Neptune being retrograde for the pretty much almost to the beginning of December, we're in a time of just like seeing if things are holding us back. What do we need to? You got the Death card here. With what do we need to change? What actions need to be taken? But let me see what the Oracle card is. Absolutely, I love that. Kind of get some hands on some things, Leo. I feel like to get especially if I'm not sure if this is like one I'm getting like this sense, again, because yours is a creative sign, Leo. There's something that in your heart chakra that's been kind of speaking to you. I do feel like that it's making that manifest, really working with your energies and pursuing those passions, those desires and things. But there does feel with this sense too of just like, I'm not sure, it's like the more that we start releasing some of these, maybe facing some of these burdens, or seeing it too, because the Hanged Man can be a card of sacrifice, and see how much we may be sacrificing to something, and see how it is affecting you, Leo. And if we're noticing that things are gotten out of whack here, the Hanged Man provides pause for a minute. And whenever these sensory cards come up here in this deck, I feel like, again, that it really invites you to be present. And, considering the 5 streams we were talking about in the Ace of Cups representing the 5 senses, maybe there's something here, maybe for some, it's like when we're maybe dealing with these burdens, it's just like maybe doing more of like kind of tactile, kind of like working with your hands, maybe doing some poetry, maybe doing some journaling, writing something, or painting, woodwork, whatever that's looking like, maybe building computers. But whatever this is, I feel like anything that can maybe kind of help you get in a more kind of intuitive space and just kind of sync it up maybe with just with those with the source there, because you do get the Eight of Cups, and that's been going around a little bit. Saturn and Pisces, but it's about spirituality, Leo. We're in a very interesting, and so you got Neptune here too. We're in a very spiritual time here, so just something to think about there, Leo. But you stay safe out there with all these changes, and maybe you're starting up new groups and making friends and all this stuff here. I'm excited for you, Leo. Hopefully too, that along the way we are, healing some things that may have been weighing us down, and yeah, kind of get that show yourself some of that free flowing love there, Leo. Raise your vibration through the roof, and I will catch you on the next one later.